Success does not come by accident. It does not knock on doors at random. It is summoned. Summoned by the power of a focused, determined, and disciplined mind. Everything you want, everything you dream, everything you were born to become begins first in your thoughts. If your mind is weak, your life will reflect it. If your mind is powerful, unshakable, and precise, then nothing in this world can stop you. Success is not a gift. It is a conquest of the inner world before it ever becomes real in the outer one. Look around you. Every building, every company, every invention started with a thought. One person dared to believe. One person saw it in their mind before the world ever saw it in physical form. That's how power works. Your mind is a factory of reality. What you feed it, what you plant inside it, will become your future. Feed it fear, you get regret. Feed it doubt, you get defeat. But feed it faith, clarity, purpose, and obsession, and the world will move to make space for your ambition. No one rises without first rising in their mind. You can train your body, build connections, read 1,000 books. But if your mind is still scattered, negative, lazy, or unsure, your results will be weak. You will not rise above the level of your thoughts. And so the first and highest priority of anyone who wants to win must be this. Take command of your mind. Don't wait. Don't hope. Seize control. Success begins when you decide, not wish, not hope, not daydream, but decide with absolute mental commitment that you will not stop until it is done. Until it is done. That is the difference between the average and the extraordinary. The average flirt with success. The extraordinary become obsessed with it. They sleep with it on their mind. They rise with fire in their chest. And when problems come, and they always come, they are already mentally trained for battle. You must train your thoughts like a warrior trains his reflex. There is no room for weakness in your thinking. You must refuse to entertain fear, reject self-pity, and kill excuses the moment they appear. You must protect your mind like a fortress because everything that wants to stop you will start by attacking your thoughts. If it can break your focus, it will kill your dream. Guard it. Feed it only what strengthens it. And when your thoughts are right, your actions will follow with force and precision. Let others talk about limitations. Let others wait for the right time. You are not them. You are not here to follow. You are here to dominate. But domination starts within. Start thinking like a champion. Start seeing every setback as a setup. Start speaking only what aligns with where you're going, not where you've been. Speak success. Think success. Act like it's already yours. Because until it lives in your mind, it will never live in your hands. Obsess over your vision. Hold it with ruthless focus. A scattered mind chases everything and catches nothing. But a focused mind builds empires. So choose your purpose and give it everything. Speak only to build it. Move only to grow it. Rest only to fuel it. And when the world says it's impossible, your mind must respond with, I've already seen it done in here. Now I just need time to do it out there. You are not average. You were not born for mediocrity. You were born with fire, born with force, born to rise. But none of it activates until your mind commands it. This is your switch. This is your engine. Control it or be controlled. Train it or be defeated. Feed it or it starves your future. Success begins in the mind. Victory begins in your thoughts. Your future is already waiting, but it is waiting for you to become mentally ready to take it. Are you ready to own your mind? Because once you do, nothing can own you. All achievement starts as an idea. Your thoughts are the foundation of your destiny. Nothing ever built, no empire ever formed, no success ever won came from chance. It started in the stillness of thought, where one person dared to believe in a vision no one else could see. Your life is shaped not by luck, not by environment, not by talent alone, but by the dominating thoughts you choose to hold in your mind every single day. These thoughts become plans. Those plans become actions. And those actions, repeated with unwavering discipline, shape the future you live in. You are living today what you thought yesterday. You will live tomorrow what you think now. The mind is the soil and success is the crop. But if you plant doubt, you will harvest nothing. If you plant fear, you will reap stagnation. Plant purpose, belief, and persistence, and you will harvest power. The beginning of all greatness is mental. The beginning of all breakthroughs is invisible. It is not what others see that changes your life. It is what you see in yourself when no one is looking. It's the thoughts you hold when it's quiet. It's what you repeat to yourself when you're tired, angry, rejected, and broken. Do you build yourself back up? Do you see through the pain to the purpose? Or do you let your mind become your master and your prison? Most people lose long before they begin because they lose in the mind. They fight their dreams instead of fighting for them. They feed the wrong thoughts, water the wrong seeds, and wonder why nothing grows. A mind that is not trained is a mind that becomes a liability. It will believe lies. It will accept limitations. It will become lazy, soft, and full of excuses. You must take control. You must discipline your thoughts like a warrior. Every time fear shows up, kill it. Every time doubt speaks, silence it. Every time weakness tempts you to quit, remember that nothing happens until the mind says it happens. You don't move because of motivation. You move because your mind has made a decision that there is no going back. That level of mental power is what separates those who talk from those who conquer. You must see the world in your mind the way you want it to be, and hold that vision like your life depends on it, because it does. The world is not moved by hesitation. It is moved by clarity. Those who think in vague, weak terms achieve vague, weak results. But those who think in clear, precise images pull their goals closer with every breath. Think about the greats, the ones who rose from nothing, who were told you can't, who faced walls, rejection, and defeat. What did they have? A mind that refused to bend, or a mind that chose faith over fear, a mind that could not be bought, could not be broken, could not be distracted. That's the standard, not just wishing, not just hoping, but a committed inner world where success is already assumed and execution is inevitable. You must become obsessed with victory in your mind long before you see it in your reality. That means feeding your thoughts daily. Read what builds you. Listen to what strengthens you. Speak what aligns with your future. Shut off the noise, shut off the negativity, shut off the endless distractions that dilute your focus. One dominating thought has more power than 1,000 scattered ones. Lock into your vision. Feel it, speak it, think it until it burns so deeply in you that nothing outside can extinguish it. When the world sees pressure, your mind sees growth. When others see failure, your mind sees the setup for the comeback. That mindset creates winners. That mindset builds legacies. You cannot afford to think like the average. The average are ruled by emotion. They start and stop, chase and quit, react and regret. But you, if you are serious about success, must choose to respond with purpose. You must think like a machine built for results. No distractions, no drama, no excuses, just relentless internal focus and command. Success doesn't begin when the world sees you. It begins when you see it and believe it in the chambers of your own mind with such intensity that it becomes a law to you. You don't guess if it will happen. You know it's only a matter of time. A focused mind is the most dangerous weapon in the world. It cannot be bought. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be turned off. That kind of mind will find the way, or it will build one. That kind of mind turns pain into fuel. That kind of mind shows up when it's tired, when it's bleeding, when it's doubted, because it already decided that quitting is not an option. That kind of mind changes everything. If you want a new level, you don't start with action. You start with thought. You elevate the standard of your thinking, and the rest of your life will rise to meet it. Every day you are given the power to choose what thoughts you allow in. Choose strength. Choose clarity. Choose belief so strong that even when the world says no, your mind says, watch me. Because when your thoughts are right, your life will follow. Success begins in the mind. That is the first law. That is the only law that matters until all others are earned through the force of your will. The mind is your most powerful tool. Direct it or it will destroy you. It is your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy, and the difference lies in your control. A directed mind builds empires, while an undisciplined one tears down potential before it ever sees the light of day. Most people live their lives as prisoners of their own thoughts, slaves to their impulses, and victims of self-sabotage. Not because the world is against them, but because they never took hold of the steering wheel in their own head. If you don't lead your mind, it will lead you straight to mediocrity, fear, regret, and failure, disguised as safety. That's how dangerous it is when left unchecked. You cannot afford to think casually. You cannot afford to let your thoughts wander freely. You must command them, shape them, sharpen them until they become weapons of progress, weapons of power, weapons of certainty that break through all resistance you don't lose in. Life, when someone beats you, you lose when your mind surrenders first. Every excuse, every hesitation, every time you pull back, it wasn't your body that quit. It was your mind that gave in. It's always the mind that collapses first, and the body simply follows. You could have kept going. You could have pushed through, but your thoughts whispered lies and you believed them. That's why control of your thinking is not optional. It is life or death for your destiny. If your mind is full of doubt, fear, and distraction, then no strategy, no motivation, and no opportunity will ever save you. You'll sabotage it all before it even begins. The moment you take full command of your thoughts is the moment your life begins to align with your vision. Instead of your excuses, you must become ruthless with your own mind. When it begins to speak weakness, silence it. When it tells you to wait, move faster. When it tells you to rest, rise with twice the energy. You train it like a muscle, and like a muscle, it only grows under pressure. Every time you resist the urge to quit, your mind gets stronger. Every time you push forward in spite of fear, your thoughts bend to your will. Eventually, you stop waiting for confidence and start creating it. You stop searching for motivation and start commanding action. The world doesn't hand success to the smartest or the most talented. It hands it to the most mentally prepared. The ones who show up every day with the same thought, "I will not be stopped," and back that thought with execution, obsession, and unshakable intent, directing your mind is not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about deciding that no problem will break your spirit. It's not about ignoring fear. It's about thinking so clearly, so boldly, that fear has no place to hide. The weak mind looks for comfort. The powerful mind looks for growth. The weak mind listens to the crowd. The powerful mind listens to the mission. The weak mind escapes into distraction. The powerful mind goes deeper into focus. You must train your thoughts to obey your purpose. You must eliminate every mental habit that keeps you small. No more overthinking, no more second-guessing, no more emotional outbursts that throw your day off track. Control your mind and you control the pace of your progress. The reason most people never get anywhere is because their minds are constantly pulling them in every direction except forward. The powerful mind does not negotiate with laziness. It does not tolerate indecision. It does not entertain what-if scenarios designed to feed anxiety and kill momentum. It moves, and it moves with clarity. You can reach any level, but only if your thoughts reach there first. You don't grow your life by accident. You grow it on purpose, with intention, with mental fire, with a focused vision so powerful that nothing around you can dilute it. Your mind is either working for you or against you right now. It is either solving your problems or creating new ones. It is either building your future or reliving your past. You decide. You always decide. Every moment, every thought, every internal conversation matters. The mind doesn't take breaks, it just shifts its direction. So if you're not guiding it, it's guiding you, and often not toward what you want. Mental mastery is not some philosophical concept. It is the core of domination. It is the root of wealth, of freedom, of greatness. If you cannot rule your own thoughts, you will always be ruled by someone else's. Every distraction you allow into your mind takes a piece of your potential. Every limiting belief you accept becomes a brick in the wall that separates you from who you were meant to become. Break that wall. Break it with force. Replace every weak thought with one that empowers you. Replace every internal excuse with internal fire. If it doesn't serve your goal, it doesn't deserve your attention. You must become militant about the energy you allow into your consciousness. It's not harsh, it's necessary. Because the stakes are your life, your legacy, your one shot at greatness. There is no hack, no shortcut, no secret beyond this. Master your mind and you master your life. Let it drift and you drift with it. Let it doubt and you become your own obstacle. But if you own your thinking, if you direct it like a laser toward one aim, one vision, one outcome, then you become unstoppable. Not because the world changes, but because you do. The circumstances no longer control you. The setbacks no longer define you. You've built a mind that moves forward no matter what. And that, more than anything else, is the foundation of lasting, undeniable, absolute success. Belief is the ignition switch of all progress. Doubt is its killer. Nothing begins until belief is present. No idea becomes a reality. No goal is pursued with full force. No dream is brought to life unless belief first takes root. Belief is the spark that awakens your potential and throws you into motion. It is not soft, not vague, not optional. It is the mental fire that turns thought into action and action into momentum. Without belief, you will hesitate, you will stall, you will quit. You can have the strategy, the resources, the support, but if belief is absent, progress will never start and persistence will never hold. Belief is the engine that turns the key and launches the entire machine forward. The moment you believe, you activate energy that was sitting dormant inside of you. You unlock drive. You awaken purpose. You turn vision into obsession. Doubt kills before the fight begins. It whispers questions in the mind. It delays action. It pulls your focus to failure before you even make your first move. Doubt doesn't need to scream. It only needs to get you to pause. That pause is where dreams decay. That pause is where energy leaks. That pause is where the weak turn around. Doubt is not just a passive feeling. It's an assassin of progress. The longer you entertain it, the weaker your belief becomes. If belief ignites, doubt suffocates. If belief moves, doubt paralyzes. You cannot carry both and expect to win. You must choose. You must choose belief so relentlessly, so absolutely, that there's no room for the voice of hesitation to enter. The ones who rise are the ones who believe before the evidence appears, who see the result before anyone else understands the effort. Belief is not based on your current condition. It is based on your commitment to where you're going. You don't need proof to believe. You need decision. You don't wait for confidence. You create it. You don't listen to circumstances. You command them. When belief is present, it overrides fear. It silences opinions. It drives action even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. That's the key. Belief shows up before the result does. If you need everything to look perfect before you move, you'll stay stuck forever. Belief doesn't need permission. It moves anyway. It builds while others doubt. It pushes forward while others hesitate. It stays focused while others seek validation. Every step toward greatness begins with one internal command. I believe. The mind responds to belief with power. It activates clarity. It aligns every thought and every action with the goal. Belief brings vision into focus, and with that focus comes power. Doubt does the opposite. It splits focus. It introduces conflict. It divides energy between possibility and fear. That division destroys momentum. The more you hesitate, the weaker your belief becomes. The weaker your belief becomes, the easier it is to quit. This is how dreams die, not in sudden failure, but in the slow erosion of belief. That's why you must protect it at all costs. Feed it daily, guard it fiercely, train it like a warrior. What you believe about yourself is what you build in the world. No more half belief, no more partial effort, no more back and forth thinking that leaves you tired and distracted. Decide, believe, move. Those who win don't always have the most talent, the most experience, or the best circumstances, but they believe harder, longer, and with more certainty. They believe when no one else does. They believe when it's hard. They believe when the losses come, and they believe again the next morning. That belief keeps the engine running when everything else tries to shut it down. That belief pushes through rejection, criticism, failure, fatigue. That belief refuses to die. When you believe in the outcome, your behavior changes, your intensity rises, your focus sharpens. You start walking, talking, and acting like the outcome is already written. You stop asking if and start declaring when. That shift in language, that shift in energy, is the edge that separates the elite from the average. Doubt is subtle, but deadly. It creeps in through the cracks when you're tired. It speaks loudest when the progress is slow. It grows when you focus on setbacks instead of standards. It multiplies when you surround yourself with people who doubt themselves. You must become ruthless about eliminating every source of doubt in your life. Cut it off at the source. Remove the habits, the voices, the environments that feed hesitation. Surround yourself with belief. Speak with belief. Act with belief. Doubt cannot grow in the presence of daily discipline, aggressive clarity, and focused repetition. Belief must be maintained like fire. It will not burn on its own. You must feed it. You must fuel it. And when it flickers, you must protect it with everything you have. You are not here to live in hesitation. You are not here to second-guess your own greatness. You are here to rise, to dominate, to lead with purpose. But that begins with the unseen, with the internal conviction that says, this is mine, long before you ever hold it in your hands. This belief is what gives you endurance. This belief is what makes you dangerous. This belief is what allows you to keep showing up, no matter what the scoreboard says. Most people stop because they never truly believed. They wanted the result, but they never committed their mind. And if the mind isn't committed, the body will always follow it into failure. Your mission now is to burn belief so deeply into your thoughts that nothing can touch it. No loss, no pain, no delay. Hold the vision, speak the result, act like it's done. The world will catch up. Belief starts the journey. Belief finishes it. And belief is the one thing no one can give you. Only you can build it. And once you do, nothing can take it from you. You must see the success in your mind before you hold it in. Your hands. That vision you carry inside you is not fantasy. It is the blueprint, the first draft of your future reality. Nothing you will ever achieve in this world happens without first being born in the unseen realm of thought. You don't wait for evidence to believe. You project belief into your mind with such clarity, such repetition, such intensity, that your body starts to follow the orders of your vision without question. Your mind is the construction site of your destiny. If you do not build it there, you will never build it anywhere. It must become real to you internally before it becomes visible externally. You must walk like it, talk like it, move like it, work like it, and persist like it already belongs to you. People wait for signs before they start. Champions start without signs. They don't wait to feel ready. They prepare themselves mentally so thoroughly that readiness becomes irrelevant. They've already seen themselves winning before the world even knew their name. Success is not something you stumble upon. It is something you create twice. First in your mind, then in your hands. And the first creation is the one that decides everything. Your mind is a canvas. If you let fear paint it, you live small. If you let doubt paint it, you never begin. But if you choose to fill that canvas with purpose, certainty, and images of your highest level, then you've already won the battle before you step into the arena. See the goal. See it in exact detail. Feel it. Touch it in your imagination. Play it over and over again until it becomes more familiar than your current life. That mental repetition wires your brain, aligns your decisions, sharpens your focus, and generates a level of obsession that no obstacle can outlast. If you don't see it first, your mind will default to old patterns. You'll drift, procrastinate, react, and make choices that sabotage your progress. But when the vision is alive in your mind, you don't get distracted, you get obsessed. And obsession beats talent every time. Obsession beats motivation. Obsession wins because it refuses to die. Success begins when the image in your mind becomes clearer than the noise around you. The world will try to interrupt your focus. It will try to distort your clarity. It will throw distractions and doubts at you from every angle. But when your vision is strong, nothing can touch it. You stop listening to opinions. You stop entertaining what-ifs. You stop negotiating with weakness. You wake up every day and you execute the picture in your head, piece by piece, decision by decision, habit by habit. You no longer live by emotion, you live by direction. The direction set by the mental movie that plays on repeat in your consciousness. That movie must be built with precision. It must be reviewed daily. It must burn so deeply into your thoughts that your reality has no choice but to catch up to it. You can't outperform the image you hold in your head. If you see yourself as average, you will stay average. If you see yourself as a leader, a force, a giant, you will rise to meet that standard. The mind does not argue with its dominant images. It will do whatever it takes to align your actions with what you believe. That's why you must take control of what you allow into your imagination. Eliminate anything that weakens your picture. Cut off thoughts, people, and environments that cloud your vision. What you see repeatedly, you become. What you speak repeatedly, you become. What you imagine with emotional intensity, you bring into your reality. There is no achievement without imagination. There is no greatness without internal clarity. Everything you want begins inside your mind and flows outward into your habits. If you see chaos inside, you'll create chaos outside. If you see order, power, and certainty, you'll begin to operate from that energy in everything you do. It's not luck, it's not fate. It's focus, it's internal discipline. It's the repetition of the image until the image becomes instruction, and the instruction becomes command. The mind is your command center. If the vision is strong, the path becomes simple. You'll endure more, sacrifice more, train harder, think sharper, and push further, not because it's easy, but because your internal image is more real to you than any obstacle in. Your way, you must become a builder of mental pictures so precise, so detailed, that you could close your eyes and live inside them. The color, the texture, the emotion, the moment of victory, it must all be there. When that picture lives in you, you stop needing to be convinced. You stop waiting for motivation. You are pulled by the vision instead of being pushed by pain. That's the difference between those who try and those who arrive. The ones who try don't see it yet. The ones who arrive saw it long before anyone else believed it could happen. If you're not where you want to be, check the image you've been carrying. Check the language you've been using. Check the level of clarity behind your actions. Are you moving like someone who has already claimed the outcome, or are you still waiting for permission to believe? The mind doesn't lie. It reflects exactly what you've allowed. Change the picture and the process changes. Change the process and the outcome changes. It's not magic, it's mental discipline. Create it in your mind first. Create it so clearly, so strongly, so deliberately, that your body and your results have no choice but to follow a definite purpose backed by relentless mental focus moves. Mountains. There is no force more powerful than a mind locked onto a mission with zero room for distraction, zero tolerance for excuses, and zero patience for delay. When a person knows exactly what they want and refuses to take their eyes off that target, the world begins to bend. Not because the world changes, but because the person does. Purpose sharpens decision. Focus eliminates waste. Together they cut through resistance like a blade. This is the formula of the unstoppable. They don't wonder what to do next. They already know. They don't drift between options. They commit. And that commitment, fueled by obsession, creates a gravitational pull that draws opportunity, energy, and momentum in their direction. Purpose is the foundation. It is not optional. Without it, your mind scatters. You try a little of this, a little of that. You get pulled by trends, distracted by comfort, and trapped in cycles of meaningless effort. But when your purpose is clear, everything else fades. You wake up with fire. You make decisions with speed. You measure your actions against one standard. Does it move me toward the goal or away from it? That's the clarity that power lives in. That's the clarity that burns away fear, confusion, hesitation, and weakness. A mind locked on purpose cannot be broken. It can only be redirected temporarily, but never defeated. Focus is the weapon. Mental focus is the discipline of refusing to give your attention to anything that doesn't build the mission. The mind is a tool. It either builds your empire or builds your prison, depending on what you allow it to focus on. If you feed it distractions, you get scattered effort. If you feed it clarity, you get dominance. Focus is rare because most people refuse to say no. They say yes to every emotion, every opinion, every impulse, every worthless piece of noise that comes into their life. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. You are not stuck. You are just unfocused. You are not weak. You are just surrounded by mental clutter. Cut it. Silence it. Starve it. Your mind was built to serve the mission, not entertain the world. The reason people fail is not because they lack talent. It's because they never locked in. They wanted too many things. They played too many games. They chased too many feelings. But a definite purpose backed by focused energy does not scatter, it concentrates. It applies pressure day after day, with no apology and no explanation. That pressure compounds. It breaks through. It produces results that others cannot understand because they never saw the discipline behind it. They never saw the nights, the isolation, the rejections, the relentless repetition of thought and action required to keep the mind fixed when everything around you tries to pull. It apart the mind, when anchored to a clear goal, becomes a magnet. It attracts ideas. It senses direction. It filters chaos. You start seeing connections where others see confusion. You move with speed while others hesitate. You become a force, not because you're gifted, but because you're focused. The person with purpose is dangerous because they are not looking for approval. They are not asking for guarantees. They are not waiting for the right time. They are moving with intent, and intent multiplies power. Most will never experience this level because they are too busy trying to feel good instead of trying to get great. But greatness demands focus, and focus demands sacrifice. You cannot hold on to comfort and expect to hold on to your purpose. You cannot entertain every distraction and expect your focus to remain intact. This is war, and in war you do not carry what slows you down. You do not carry what confuses your direction. Every distraction must go. Every weakness must be exposed. Every excuse must be crushed by the weight of the mission. You must train your mind to see one target, one path, one outcome. Everything else is noise. Everything else is delay. Your life will always reflect the level of focus you bring to your purpose. If your life is chaotic, your mind is scattered. If your results are weak, your vision is unclear. But when the mind aligns, the world moves. There is no such thing as a mountain too big, only a purpose too small and a focus too soft. The mountain doesn't move until the mind becomes immovable. The dream doesn't live until the thoughts become unshakable. You don't need more time, you need more clarity. You don't need more support, you need more obsession. One mission, one target, one mindset. Repeat it until it becomes identity. When your mind identifies with the result before the result arrives, that's when reality begins to shift. That's when the world starts to mirror the image you've burned into your consciousness. Your mental energy is limited. Waste it and you delay your future. Direct it and you accelerate your rise. You cannot give a single moment of thought to things that weaken your fire. You cannot entertain weakness without becoming it. Stay locked. Stay relentless. Remind yourself every hour if necessary, what's the mission? What's the outcome? What's the standard? Because the only thing separating those who move mountains from those who never even try is this. One group locks their mind and never lets go. Your thoughts must be obsessed with. Success, lukewarm desire brings nothing. You can't casually wish your way to greatness. You can't flirt with your goals and expect the world to hand them to you. The universe does not respond to half-hearted effort. It bends to obsession, to total immersion, to the individual who breathes success like oxygen and chases it with the intensity of survival. When your mind is locked in, when your focus is absolute, when the idea of not achieving it makes you sick to your stomach, that's when the game changes, not before. Desire is not enough. Everyone wants something. The difference between those who rise and those who stay buried is the level of obsession they're willing to carry in their mind every waking hour. You have to want it so badly that nothing else matters. You have to build a world in your head so vivid, so real, that you can feel it before you touch it. That level of mental fire is not optional, it's the entry point. Weak thoughts produce weak effort. Lukewarm desire produces lukewarm results. But when the goal burns inside you like a flame that won't shut off, that's when the extraordinary becomes possible. Every great achievement begins with obsession, not interest, not curiosity. Obsession, a thought that doesn't leave you, a vision that interrupts sleep, a goal that makes you uncomfortable with anything less. That's the thought that builds champions. That's the thought that drives unstoppable motion. If your mind is still entertaining Plan B, if you're still trying to balance comfort with progress, then you haven't committed. You haven't crossed the line where nothing else makes sense except the mission. You must shut every mental door except the one leading forward. You must be done with average, done with normal, done with moderation. Success demands extreme mental clarity, extreme emotional control, and extreme loyalty to the vision. The mind must be soaked in the outcome. You must feel it, breathe it, walk with it before it exists in your hands. You're not just thinking about success. You're becoming it in thought, word, and action. Lukewarm minds drift. Lukewarm minds need motivation. Lukewarm minds crave approval, chase distraction, and wait for permission. But the obsessed mind doesn't wait, it moves. It doesn't need validation, it creates it. It doesn't chase the world, it commands its place in it. Obsession is the state where doubt dies and action lives. You stop negotiating with excuses, you stop reacting to setbacks, you stop explaining your reasons and start delivering results. The obsessed don't back down, they level up. They don't need to be pushed, they push themselves. They're not moved by pain, they're moved by purpose. And that purpose lives in every thought, every breath, every second you have to choose it every single day. Obsession is not a moment, it's a mentality. It's waking up with the goal already in motion inside your head. It's training when no one is watching, practicing when you're exhausted, showing up when it's inconvenient. It's learning, refining, and sharpening your edge while others rest. It's rejecting distraction, eliminating comfort, and isolating the variables that actually create movement. That's what it means to be obsessed. Not interested, not hoping, obsessed. Your thoughts circle the mission like a predator. You don't wait for opportunities, you create them by force. You don't wait for energy, you generate it through clarity and purpose. The greatest weapon you have is your ability to control what dominates your mind. If your thoughts are consumed by problems, you create more problems. If your thoughts are dominated by results, your behavior begins to align. The mind is a filter, and obsession is the pressure that forces everything irrelevant out. There's no space left for fear when obsession takes over. There's no space left for laziness, hesitation, or comparison. Obsession becomes the guard that keeps you locked in and fired up. If your results are soft, it's because your mind is soft. Harden your thoughts. Intensify the vision. Multiply the repetition of the image until it's more real than your current reality. Everything you want is on the other side of mental saturation. Not just thinking about it once or twice. Not just journaling it on New Year's Day. Saturation, complete mental takeover, where the goal is present in every action, every decision, every sacrifice. That's the level that separates the ones who achieve from the ones who admire. Admiration is cheap. Obsession costs everything. And you pay that cost in time, in effort, in focus, in the willingness to be misunderstood and alone. That's the price. But the reward is unmatched, because when you live in a state of mental dominance, the world begins to mirror it back to you. You can't fake this. The results will expose you. Either your thoughts are drenched in purpose, or they're diluted by mediocrity. Either you're consumed by the mission, or you're distracted by emotion. Either you want it bad enough to become it, or you'll be the person still talking about one day while others take what you left on the table. The difference is not ability, it's obsession. The mind that refuses to quit, refuses to negotiate, refuses to slow down. That's the mind that wins. That's the mind that rewrites history. Discipline your mind to reject fear, negativity, and excuses. These are the silent killers of dreams, the invisible forces that rob people of progress before they've even taken the first real step. Fear will paralyze you if you let it. Negativity will cloud your vision and poison your thoughts. Excuses will convince you that mediocrity is justified. But none of them survive under a mind trained for discipline. Discipline is not about controlling the world. It's about controlling the internal environment, mastering the thoughts, and building a mental firewall so strong that weakness has no way in. If you don't learn to govern your mind, the world will govern it for you. Every time you let fear dictate your decisions, you shrink your power. Every time you entertain negativity, you let the enemy rent space in your head. And every time you make an excuse, you trade potential for comfort. That's the truth. No sugarcoating. You either discipline your thinking, or you lose the war before the battle even begins. There is no middle ground. The disciplined mind doesn't wait to feel ready. It moves with clarity in spite of resistance. It acts in alignment with its highest standard, not its emotion, not its mood, its standard. That's the level where transformation lives. That's the level where elite performers operate. Every single day you must become ruthless with the thoughts you allow to stay. When fear shows up, you shut it down. When doubt whispers, you outwork it. When negativity rises, you drown it in the voice of purpose. Excuses don't even get airtime. They are deleted before they speak. You don't reason with them. You don't justify them. You destroy them. Because every excuse is a delay, every fear is a prison, every negative thought is a leak in your mental armor. And those leaks don't stay small. They grow, they multiply, and eventually they sink your momentum. Discipline is the patch. Discipline is the defense. It is the weapon that keeps your mind sharp, your focus tight, and your energy locked on the mission. The average mind reacts. The disciplined mind responds with intention. Most people live at the mercy of emotion. The disciplined live by principle. That's why they move different. That's why their results look different. They don't waste mental energy entertaining what doesn't serve them. They don't indulge in drama, delay, or distraction. They direct every ounce of thought toward building, growing, and executing. That's a choice. It's not natural. It's trained. It's repeated. It's enforced. And that enforcement is what separates the powerful from the passive. You cannot walk into excellence with an undisciplined mind. You cannot reach the peak with mental weakness dragging behind you. You must train your mind like a soldier, not once, daily, relentlessly. You train it to wake up early when comfort says sleep. You train it to speak power when fear says shrink. You train it to stay focused when everything around you is chaos. The stronger the mind, the simpler the process. You don't get caught in comparison because your eyes are on your mission. You don't get thrown off course by setbacks because your compass is internal. That's mental freedom. That's discipline. That's how you rise while others remain distracted, discouraged, and defeated. Excuses are seductive because they remove responsibility. They tell you it's not your fault, or they let you off the hook, but they also keep you exactly where you are, stuck, small, silent. Discipline rejects the excuse and accepts the burden. It says, if it's going to happen, it's on me. Not the weather, not the schedule, not the opinions, me. And that mindset produces miracles because it doesn't wait. It creates. It doesn't blame. It builds. That's the discipline the greats live by. The discipline of ownership. The discipline of doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. Negativity is a mental cancer. It spreads quickly. One thought becomes 10. One complaint becomes a habit. One criticism becomes a narrative. And suddenly your vision is buried under mental garbage. You must become violent with negativity. Cut it out. Starve it. Replace it. Gratitude is your defense. Vision is your fuel. You don't need to fake positivity. You need to be so aligned with your mission that negativity becomes irrelevant. You have too much to build, too much to prove, too much to become, to waste a single thought on what's wrong. Discipline eliminates mental waste. It protects your mind from nonsense and keeps your focus. Pure fear is the final opponent. It will show up right before the breakthrough. It will disguise itself as logic, as caution, as timing. Don't fall for it. Discipline sees through fear. It recognizes fear as a test, not a signal to stop. You act anyway. You speak anyway. You move anyway. That's how you build courage. Not by waiting for fear to disappear, but by disciplining yourself to move through it without permission. The more you do that, the more fear fades. The more you confront it, the less control it has. Discipline steals fear's voice and replaces it with certainty. In the end, your life will rise or fall to the level of discipline you bring to your thoughts. If you control your mind, you control your life. If you don't, your mind becomes the enemy. There is no freedom without mental control. There is no power without thought discipline. And there is no lasting success for the person who keeps entertaining fear, negativity, and excuses. Cut them off. Starve them out. Replace them with vision, with purpose, with unbreakable standards. That's the path. That's the way. That's the mind that wins. Discipline your mind to reject fear, negativity, and excuses. These are the mental parasites that infect ambition. the invisible forces that quietly sabotage potential. If your mind is not trained to resist them, they will take over. They will disguise themselves as reason, as caution, as practicality, but underneath they are weakness. A disciplined mind does not entertain weakness. It identifies it, eliminates it, and replaces it with focus. You cannot allow fear to speak. You cannot let negativity take root, and you cannot give excuses even a moment of your attention. If you tolerate any of them, they multiply. And when they multiply, your vision dies. Fear is the first poison. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It pretends to protect you, but it only paralyzes. It tells you to wait, to be careful, to stay safe, but what it really means is stay small. Fear is not an enemy to be negotiated with. It is a liar. It will rob your future if you let it. Discipline means acting in spite of fear, not in the absence of it. It means doing the thing while your hands are shaking. It means speaking when your voice is trembling. It means walking into the unknown because your mission demands it. Discipline puts fear in its place, and that place is silence. Negativity is the second enemy. It creeps into your mind when your standards are low and your environment is careless. It tells you why things won't work. It convinces you to see the worst, to expect failure, to doubt your own ability. Negativity is mental pollution, and you must become a cleaner of your own mind. You must purge every thought that weakens your fire. A disciplined mind doesn't complain, doesn't blame, doesn't wallow. It adjusts, it adapts, it attacks. You feed it purpose. You surround it with power. You reinforce it with repetition of vision until doubt suffocates. There is no room for negativity in a mind built for dominance. Excuses are the third killer, the most deceptive of them all, because they feel logical. They feel justified. You convince yourself you're being smart, being responsible, being realistic, but you're just being soft. Excuses are lies wrapped in logic. And every time you allow one, you build the habit of weakness. A disciplined mind does not give excuses oxygen. It takes responsibility for everything, every delay, every failure, every missed step. Not because everything is your fault, but because that level of ownership is where control begins. You cannot change what you won't claim. The undisciplined blame the world. The disciplined build regardless of it. Every time you reject fear, you grow. Every time you shut down negativity, you strengthen. Every time you destroy an excuse, you sharpen. Discipline is not something you're born with. It is forged. It is created in the choices you make every single day. It is built when you do what you said you would do, long after the mood you set it in has faded. Discipline is showing up without applause. It is grinding in silence. It is choosing your future over your feelings. That's what separates the elite from the average. Not talent, not luck, discipline. The ability to direct your mind with brutal precision. You do not get to be exceptional with a soft mindset. You do not get to lead with a heart full of doubt. You do not get to rise with a mind full of noise. Your thoughts must be clean, clear, and committed. You must build a mental filter that rejects every voice that isn't aligned with your mission. You must become aggressive about guarding your focus. Your mental energy is your most valuable currency. Waste it on weakness and your life reflects it. Invest it in vision and everything begins to shift. This is the law. This is the foundation. This is the price. There will be days when your mind tries to retreat, when fear gets loud, when the world feels heavy. That's when discipline matters most. Discipline is what shows up when motivation is gone. Discipline is what speaks when doubt screams. Discipline is what drives your actions when emotions are chaotic. It is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. You train your mind daily. You set your standards high. You repeat your mission until it drowns out everything else. That's how you build mental momentum. That's how you become unshakable. You must train your mind to become your ally, not your opponent. You do that by programming it through repetition, through intentional thought, through radical honesty. You don't lie to yourself. You don't sugarcoat. You face your flaws. You expose your fears. You rip the mask off every excuse you've ever made and stare it down. And then you replace it with truth, with clarity, with the non-negotiable vision of who you are becoming. That's mental discipline. That's how you take back control, because in the end, success is not a product of conditions. It is a product of choices. And the first choice is what you allow in your mind. If you lose that battle, you lose the war. If you win that battle, the rest falls into place. The body follows the mind. Results follow thought. Life follows vision. You want change? Don't start with action. Start with discipline. Ruthless mental discipline. Master it, and nothing can stop you. Success doesn't visit the unprepared. It crowns those who are mentally ready. It does not arrive by accident, by chance, or by wish. It is earned in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It is built in the mind long before it is built in the world. Success is not something you chase blindly. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who is ready for it. That readiness doesn't come from talking, dreaming, or hoping. It comes from preparation. Ruthless, intentional daily preparation that sharpens your mind like a blade and sets your standards so high that anything less than greatness becomes intolerable. Mental readiness is not optional. It is the foundation of all high achievement. If your mind isn't prepared, opportunity will walk right past you and you won't even recognize it. You'll freeze. You'll doubt. You'll delay. Because preparation builds confidence and confidence kills hesitation. The person who is mentally ready doesn't wait for the perfect time. They move because they are the perfect weapon in any time. The world doesn't hand you a crown, it hands you a test, and only the prepared pass it. Only those who have trained their thoughts, hardened their emotions, and locked in their vision rise when it matters most. You must prepare your mind like a warrior prepares for battle. Every day is training, every task is a drill, every moment is a rep. You do not get soft, you do not get lazy, you do not get distracted. You program your mind to operate on command. Discipline becomes your heartbeat. Focus becomes your breath. Purpose becomes your lens. You strip away excuses, comfort, and fear until all that remains is a mind engineered for execution. That's what readiness looks like. That's what it takes to wear the crown. Success doesn't come to those who dabble. It doesn't come to those who hope success shows up without a fight. It comes to those who are obsessed with mastery. Those who study their craft when others sleep. Those who prepare mentally for scenarios most people don't even imagine. Those who live in the future in their minds and act like it already belongs to them. Mental preparation is the difference between reacting and commanding, between chasing and leading, between waiting and building. You're either building the mindset that will carry you, or you're building the habits that will bury you. You can't fake readiness. You can't pretend your way into results. You either have it or you don't. And if you don't, you build it. You study, you train. You put yourself in uncomfortable places so you adapt faster than anyone around you. You rehearse your victory so often in your head that when it shows up in life, you feel like you've been there before. That's the power of mental preparation. You move with calm in chaos. You stand tall in pressure. You make decisions when others freeze. Not because you're lucky, but because your mind was ready when the moment arrived. Being mentally ready means you expect resistance. You expect setbacks. You expect failure.